Hey folks, this is Riker, here to tell you about my journey through Lost Skies, a survival co-op action game that entered early access today. You can get it on Steam, and we're going to thank Humble Games for sponsoring this video. Now, for those who don't know, I actually play a lot of survival games. I've played many over the years. Within my friend group, it's like the one genre of game that we can all agree to play together, because it's got a little bit of something for everyone in it. Some people like base building, some people like shooting monsters, some people like looting things, some people like upgrading and crafting, and survival games are a cornucopia of all these things. And Lost Skies is something magic. It's got something different to it that other games don't, and part of it is the verticality, which you can see right here, right away. These islands in the distance, you can explore all of that. It's not just stuff in the background. You can go everywhere. Boom, we got a glider. You're going to craft your glider very early on. You're going to have a lot of means of traversing the world. A glider, you're going to get a grappling hook, but it's all ultimately building towards getting a skyship that you're going to use to navigate throughout islands. At the start of the game, you're going to be building your little crafting stations and your cooking station and your forges all on land, but eventually your ship will become your flying fortress that can do all of this. Now, on the topic of cooking, one thing I don't like in survival games is having to survive, having to eat to live. And we've seen a trend away from that in recent years. Lost Skies as well. Food is there to give you buffs, not to keep you from starving to death. So you learn different recipes, you find more exotic ingredients, you learn more powerful recipes, and then you eventually build a shipyard. Now your shipyard, that's going to be the heart of when you're to construct your first of hopefully many increasingly elaborate and better ships, sky ships. Now you can either work from a blueprint, or you can design completely from scratch, or take a blueprint and modify it. They give you a couple different options to begin with. And again, you're going to have different building materials, more advanced ones as you go along, but it all starts off slow. Now, I played this in co-op multiplayer. One thing that needs to be said, there is some jank in the game. It is early access, and we were playing a pre-early access build. There is jank. It's kind of... survival games and jank kind of tend to go hand in hand. But nonetheless, we were able to look past the rough edges here and there, and once we got to the heart of building the ship and flying around, I love the Z-axis gameplay. In case you didn't see it, we also get a grappling hook. Climbing is a thing. There's lots of traversals in this game. There's a strong puzzle element. Is there some fighting? There's some fighting here and there. There are flying enemies. You can see things flying in the distance there. Those are manta rays. They're not hostile by nature, but eventually you're going to want to take those guys out to harvest them. Now, I'm building components onto the ship. It's not enough to just build the frame, but you're going to want to build the core of it, which you're going to then basically use as your respawn point. You can always choose to respawn there, or you'll notice at the start of the game that we emerge from an ark. So the narrative of this game is sort of a distant post-apocalypse. I guess we were survivors on an ark, and we wake up and we got to figure out what happened. Where are the other survivors? We got to go try to find other arks. Here we're putting sails on the ship. You progress in tech from sails to eventually wings, and then engines and more elaborate engines. And the sails are things that you, just like in ye olden sailor days, well, even modern sailor days, in fairness, there are modern ships with sails. You can, I don't know the nautical terms, but the sail can either be deployed or not deployed. And when it is deployed, the ship will naturally drift with the wind. So if you have a crew with you on the ship, it helps. You don't have to. But right now we're doing the helm. I tend to be the pilot, and my crew will go and manage the sails for me, which is really just when you're setting off, you're going to deploy the sails, and then when you're going to land, a little bit, or you don't have to land per se, but when you want to stop the vessel, you're going to want to draw the sails. But you can see here now we're drifting off. Getting your ship really opens up a lot of options, and there are plenty. There's like something like 20 different islands, and I think there's room for more and more. Here is a puzzle element and an enemy. So this right here spawns drones. When it opens up, you got to shoot it. When it closes, it's got a lot of armor, but that's going to keep deploying drones, so you want to destroy it to stop the drones from spawning, but also because it has important resources within it. Now, here is a big block in my way. I put an anti-gravity thing on it to move it. Why? Because it's in the way of me completing my puzzle. There's a lot of different puzzle elements, so I put that anti-gravity thing on that giant stone. I was able to just push it out of the way. Why? In order to shoot this laser beam at this other thing to activate it, it turned orange to green. Now I go to that one to complete the puzzle because there's a door that's locked. So I'm going to point this laser beam at that green thing, and now boom, a door has opened. Why? We are searching for something called data disks. And that's that orange thingy over there, which I'm about to go for until I get almost shot by this turret. There are defenses that have been left over from whatever civilization, whether it was us or something else, I don't know, that we're going to have to unfortunately deal with. Not so unfortunate though, because you get, you know, resources and materials from it. XP isn't a thing in the game. There is some kind of progression and leveling, but it's with like, if you, the more you sprint, you level up your sprinting. The more you climb, you level up your climbing. The more you sneak, you level up your sneak. That's the extent of it. So it's very light on the self-progression mechanics. But those data disks, you want to go from island to island finding all the data disks because that progresses a tech tree. You want to go deeper into the tech tree to unlock more options, more things that you can do. Here we're going to be landing on yet another island. We've explored many islands. We have our little yacht ship design here. And the islands vary tremendously in shape. They even have an island editor. You can make your own islands and you can play on community developed islands. I very much look forward to that. But there's all like mysteries. There's so much to discover and explore. There was another arc on that island. I don't know if you caught that. But some of the islands have arcs on them, and it's finding new arcs that progresses the story. It's sort of like a little narrative in it. It's not a narrative game, but there is a through line of story that unravels the more arcs you discover. So here I'm trying to solve another puzzle. It's another laser one. They're not all laser puzzles, but this is going to require quite a bit of traversal, and I'm going to be honest, I was terrified when I started playing this game. Between the gliding and the climbing and the grappling. Also, I was walking on a treadmill at the time. I was getting like vertigo. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually looking in my inventory to see if I die, am I okay with losing all that stuff? Because items you keep in your belt, they will be preserved if you die, but things in your backpack get dropped if you die. So I was evaluating, do I go back to the ship to drop this off, or do I hold on to it? I'm going to risk it. I'm going to try to complete this puzzle first before I go back and dump my loot. Again, this is another pointy laser puzzle, but again, there's a few different puzzles. These guys, these are little drone buddies. You find these guys and they will lead you to either puzzles or just loot. As you can see here, just ends up unlocking a chest for me. Thank you, friendly puzzle robot, for sharing your secrets of the island with us. There's lots of looting in this game. Between gear, between schematics. Here we've unlocked a research table. So now I've just built the research table on my ship. I'm starting to learn all the schematics. And then you can also upgrade things. So I went basically from having the crappiest pistol ever made to now I'm going to blast level up this new pistol recipe, a revolver even. And I ended up multiplying my damage by a factor of 10. I do 10 times more damage now that I've upgraded this pistol to level 5 and I crafted the pistol, revolver. It was amazing. Again, as you go deeper down the tech tree, so what I'm doing right here actually is I'm harvesting some lumber. So you're going to craft yourself a saw. That was like the super sci-fi saw that just takes down the tree. You're going to want to keep chopping it until it dissipates into a resource. Similarly, you have an impact hammer kind of doodad for mining metal, various metals. And the interesting thing, your resource is wood and metal, but there are different types. You got birch, you got whatever, you have iron, you have copper, you have tin, and recipes will call for wood or metal. It doesn't matter which, but the kind of metal you use will have an impact on the quality of the output. What I'm doing right now is I'm building a forge on the ship, because again, eventually you can have those, you have to unlock the tech. You can't just right away build stuff on your ship. You have to develop the ability to make a more compact design for the ship. Now I'm building side wings. So some of these things are going to help with vertical lift, makes the ship go up and down faster. And now I'm putting on a wing. These are going to help turn the ship more. So there's different things you can do to increase the maneuverability, the speed in different directions, how well the ship handles and controls. All these components individually can be damaged. The thing in the back of my ship is kind of a grappling pad that I made. We also made storage on the ship, of course. We're scouting around for different islands that we want to go to. And the world is just free to explore. Go wherever you want. It's not telling you go to this island. You might want to go to a certain island because it seems closer, but again, all kinds of different islands. As you saw, we were going towards those shattered islands here. There's a pirate ship, crashed pirate ship right in the middle there that we went and explored. We're not going to spoil everything for y'all, but this is like the remains of some kind of shattered, exploded island, right? Really cool to see, just, discover this world, all the different things that there are. Adventures to be had. It does take quite a while to go from island to island, though, so it's a bit of a commitment. Once you get to an island, you kind of want to explore it, but you're always rewarded for that exploration. So here we see this big, beautiful cave in the distance. What lies within? We go traverse in. We're gonna go take a little look-see. This giant cavernous opening within this mountain, and look at this entire flora, fauna, ecosystem within. Of course, deploy your glider so you don't just fall and die. And again, various different things to collect. And floating off now to yet another island. Now I'm given to understand that as you go even deeper into the game, there are bigger threats. Your ship, you can eventually build guns on your ship. I never encountered something that I needed to fight with guns from my ship, but I look forward to finding out. Here we got another traversal, another kind of puzzle to solve on a different island. This one again actually is going to be, it's going to be with the lasers once again. But man, did I have to grapple a lot, and there were times when, because your grappling hook has a certain range. Here you see a little bit of combat fighting drones. The types of enemies I've fought so far, turrets, drones, insects that'll pop out of the ground in caves if you're mining. The manta rays, which aren't really enemies, but I needed to harvest their meat. I felt bad. There's also just kind of like animals that are non-hostile as well, and like the manta ray. But there's sort of like these deer creatures that if you aggro them, then they'll fight back. Otherwise, they're passive. There's also buttons as part of these puzzles, right? You can either shoot it with your gun, which is kind of a waste. There I just killed a bird to get its meat. That's an animal that doesn't fight back. Here was a very interesting puzzle. So all of this weird gizmo techno wall stuff, you cannot climb. You can climb everything else. You can't climb this. You can't grapple onto it. So I'm like, why did the game lead me here? There's this big pit. If I were to fall down here, I can't get out because I can't climb and I can't grapple. Why would the game do this? Let me see if I'm bricking my character by going down here. Have I just screwed myself? Here's a rock. I can interact with the rock, but there's nothing else down here that I can interact with. Is this because the game is in early access, or is this a clever puzzle of some kind? What can I do? What about that light? Can I hook onto that? I could hook onto the light. That's where I came from. Okay. If there's a light that I can hook onto where I came from, is there something else I can hook onto on that side? Oh, what about this? Here we go. We've crossed the chasm. What more lies here? Ooh, a big tower. Is there something up there between the rafters that I can latch onto? Looks like there might be if I can get the right angle, and we're not going to spoil the rest of the puzzle. But here's another different puzzle type. So there's like a generator. You shoot your grappling hook into it and it electrifies. And there's different pillars. And the order in which you activate these pillars by wrapping the cord around it will matter. Now this puzzle, I solved it, and it turns out there was a certain order. You had to do it in the order of shortest to tallest, because there was a little data pad with a clue. It's kind of like a riddle. I love riddles. I like puzzles. This game is really good with puzzles. Very heavy on the puzzle elements. I would say not as heavy on combat. I'd say there's probably more puzzles than combat, but you could kind of decide what you want to do and what you want to focus on. Now I've unlocked a tech for a new giant sail, which we're deploying to our vessel here. It's going to help with either speed or, I forget what at this point, but, you know, just going down the tech tree, basically, unlocking different things. The game does a good job of giving you goals to achieve. Now, before leaving this suite of islands, I wanted to do a final pass. And I'm like, okay, let's stop on this little thing here. And I didn't notice, you're going to look to the left, and that's a little turret that's about to deploy. I didn't notice it. Here it pops up, and we're doing a split screen with my partner as we're now panicking as it's shooting the ship. And as she's just trying to destroy the turret, I'm crashing into these trees. I knock down the tree. She gets killed by the turret. I've broken the rings off the ship. The turret is damaging the ship. I am flying away in panic. We are full on panic mode, and I'm doing the walk of shame now, drifting away. Ship's on fire. You can repair it. There's a repair gun that you can build. She's respawned on the ship. I am limping away. Limping on to future victory. Because I decided then and there that I would build the most majestic ship. I would take under the enterprise of developing the best skyfaring vessel that Lost Skies has ever seen. One that would make us all proud. And I look forward to playing more of this game. I had a taste. I look forward to diving in more again. It's a game that's really fun to play with friends. Again, yes, it's a little janky around the corner. I'm willing to bet that having launched into early access today, there's probably going to be some bug reports and stuff. But the spirit of the game is something that I really enjoy. I love the freedom of being in the sky. I love building things. I love being able to design my own ship, put things on it. So if this is the kind of game that seems to interest you folks, check the link in the description, Lost Skies in early access. Go learn more about it. I encourage y'all. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to join Rikers Raiders for more gaming content.